Good. All right, my friends. I hope this will work. This will be a big novelty if it does. I'm now found in Miron, and up to now the the password didn't work, but here it is, the password. So, oh, wonderful. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I just got in with the old password. I'm now in Miron, and usually the password was different, but now it's the same. So here we go. Now we can learn the Holy Torah together. Wonderful. And this will also be printed. Okay. Share. Stop record. Wonderful. Yes. Just like regular. All right. All right. Let's do the Sikha first of all. We'll do the Sikha first of all, and then we'll look around for a mimer. Here we have in this beautiful Sikha, a speech that was given by the Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1991. And we're nearing the end. And the Rebbe is talking about very, very explicitly about Mashiach and what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. And how there is going to be basically 3 levels of change. And the change at first is going to be a very subtle one. And that will be that it will reveal the meaning and the fact that there is a creator in everything. Everything we're going to see that there's a creator. And this, the Rebbe, he uses the metaphor that the word exile means gola, and the word redemption is geula. So all you have to do is put the letter aleph into the exile, and all of a sudden it comes alive. Like we talked about yesterday, like the difference between a person in a coma and a person that's awake. A person that's a coma, it's the person, there he is, but everything is hidden. So all you have to do is wake the person up, but you didn't like put a new brain into him or a new eyes or have to do some sort of operation or something. All you did is just sort of push the button and the thing started. The same thing, the person becomes aware. Same thing we have here. The world is not aware of the creator. And when people become aware of the creator, that will change the world. Seems strange, but that's the way it is. We don't know how important we are. And the way we look at the world and the way we treat the world as the world reacts, or more exactly, God reacts through the world. So when we put the aleph into the gola, the aleph in this case means the alufo shalolam, that there's a king of the universe. And we feel that everything that happens is happening because God wants it to happen. And it's just we have to know how to react to everything. We're put in the situation here in the world against our will. We're just born. And now we're here. We have to know how to act and how to react properly. And that's the whole idea of knowing that there is a creator. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is to feel the holiness of the Torah. The Torah is the blueprint of the world. And now you not only know that there's a creator in the world, but you also have a feeling why everything is being created. And sometimes you have to really defy the world. The first one is the world just doesn't get you down. It doesn't make you, the world doesn't make you confused or lazy, or etc., depressed. The second one is that you know what to do with the world. That's why God gave the Torah. So with the Torah, you know not only not to kill and not to steal and not to this, but also you know honor your parents, to be a good person, to give charity, to pray, to help others, to be beneficial, to learn. But then there's a third level of an aleph, that this is going to be from God alone. God is going to make the whole entire new world, and that's going to eventually be the raising of the dead, going to bring the raising of the dead. So here we have the 4th level. Here. He says that's the idea of a Chacham, Gibur, Usher, and Mechuba. This refers to all of this, hints at also all the 10 sphirot of God to reveal them in the world. Until finally we can get to the highest level. That's why of Chachma, wisdom, awareness, like it says that the Mashiach is going to be a person that's going to be wiser than King Solomon, which I didn't personally know King Solomon. It says that King Solomon knew all the languages and he knew all the sciences and he knew all the secrets of the world. Okay, here we go. Ches. אני רוצה לתת שיעור כאן, אז תגיד לא להפריע, אני מוסר שיעור כאן לאנשים, בחוץ לארץ. Okay, Ches. B'kolin is Kola'el, and everything we said before. Here's a note. Good morning. B'kolin is Kola'el, everything that we said before. Let's see if this is right. Yes. In the Tosafot, we can also add another thing about the Shabbat that's going to be after Lag BaOmer. That's what it's going to be this year, right? Tonight is going to be Lag BaOmer, and the day after is going to be Shabbat. So it's going to be Shabbat. It's going to come out right after Lag. What is Lag BaOmer? Like we say now, we're counting the Omer, right? So it's the 33rd day of the Omer. The 33rd day of the Omer is the day that about 1,800 years ago passed away Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we'll see, maybe we'll learn a sikha after this. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was perhaps the holiest of all of the Tanaim, the holiest of all the rabbis. In fact, one of the holiest of all Jews of all time. And he wrote the book, the Zohar. And it says that with the Zohar, Elijah the prophet came to him and said, with this book, the Jews are going to go out of exile. And the reason is very simple, because the Zohar, like we said before, everything depends on what we think and how we act and how we appreciate the world. So since Adam ate from the tree of knowledge, so everything became egotistical. Man looked only at himself, to the point where even people looked at God, they only thought about themselves, going to heaven. And that's all the religions in the world. They came from the sin of the tree of knowledge. People were simply selfish. They're thinking about themselves. And as a result, a lot of them came a big hatred of Judaism. That's why there's hatred of Judaism, because the Jews are the sons of God, the servants of God, the representatives of God in the world. And people don't like God. They want to make God in their own image so that they can, feel that somewhere or other they're the boss. And the fact of the matter is, this is not so. But on the other hand, what does Judaism have to offer? All these other religions are talking about going to heaven, and getting blessed and all this. And Judaism has such a thing to offer. So he says that Judaism has what's called the mysteries of creation and the mysteries of the Torah, the soul, the joy. A body without a soul is dead. So the same thing is the whole world. And the reason why we're in the world, and especially the Torah, if it doesn't have a soul, then it's just dead. There's no reason to learn the Torah. There's no reason to do Judaism. Judaism without a soul, it's just dead. It's just another one of the religions. At best, it can offer you the world to come. But the whole idea of the Mashiach is, like we said a lot of times before, the Mashiach is going to teach us how it's possible to live in this world and to think only about God all the time. To be married, to have children, to have a job, to have friends, but every single second think about God. Why? Because God is creating the world. That's what he wants to be in the world. How can we? You have to know some mysteries. You have to know some of the mysteries. You have to know some of the inside of the world. And because the Torah is the blueprint of the world, also to know the inside of the Torah. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he wrote the book, the Zohar, that makes all of this come alive. The mystery, who was Abraham, who was Yitzchak, who was Yaakov, Jacob, what are their wives, what levels of spirituality do they represent, what did exactly they give to us, what does that mean to us today? That's all in the book, the Zohar. The Zohar is a midrash. It's just an explanation of the sentences of the Torah. But it explains them, most of them, with a spiritual side to it. A lot of it is very understandable, the book, the Zohar. There's certain parts of it which are very, very mystical and very elusive. But generally speaking, it's not, there's translations in English. There's translations in the book of English. And it's true that a lot of it is a bit mysterious, but nevertheless, it fits into, it's a lot less mysterious than, let's say, the book of the Song of Songs, which that's part of the old Bible. But it does use a lot the example of the God as the male aspect and the Jewish people, the feminine aspect, etc. Okay, so let's talk about Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer, this is the day of the Hilula, of the passing away, and the day of the joy of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And we said before, and maybe we'll learn a sikha about this also, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a very great holy man. Now, in Judaism, when holy men pass away, and we know what the date is, it's usually a date that's very serious. People are not happy on that day. It's a day that there's a lot of self-introspection and self-examination and thinking, how can my life be as meaningful as the life of these holy people, and etc. But the day Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed away, he ordered all of his pupils that they must be happy. It's a very happy day. And so it is now. Now I'm in Miron. One of the reasons I'm here is because it's a very happy day. There's about 500,000 people, 500,000 people that come here every year, right? They come in the course of the 24-hour period. So it's really, really quite amazing. Maybe this year it'll be a little bit less because everybody is still under the effects of the corona. And not only that, because the day after is going to be Shabbat, so a lot of people have to rush home, and it's far away. The Miron is far away from the center of Israel, so a lot of people have to travel, 2-3 hours in order to get here. But usually in a regular year, people come even from outside of Israel. They come from. So let's understand, what is this Hilula of this man called Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that he wrote the Zohar? And the Zohar, it says, is the book that's going to bring the Mashiach. Because it enables everyone, it opened up the door at least for the possibility to think about God in everything you do. Really, it opened the door. In actual fact, only great masters of Torah were able to really utilize this book properly, even though it's there and everybody can read it. And the ideas of Hasidut, Chabad, especially as it was begun by the first Rebbe of Chabad, that really brought it down to earth. That brought these ideas of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai really down to earth in every single word of the Torah and every single nuance of our lives. Okay, let's go. By means of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there was the revelation of the inside of the Torah, Panimiyot the Torah. This is the idea of the niflaot of the Torah, the wonders of the Torah. Remember, we said that's the third level of this letter Aleph, the first aspect of the letter Aleph that we're using to change the Gola to Geula, the exile into redemption, is that there's a God. And the second level is the Torah. And the third level is the inside of the Torah. And that's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. This is going to be the level that eventually is going to cause the raising of the dead. The Iker Gilui Havaya, the main revelation, one of the ways you can see, the people come up to the grave of Rabbi Shimon, like I said, about 500,000 people come up every year. What do they come up to a grave of a dead man for? If they just want to remember him so they can light a candle wherever they are. But the idea is that big tzaddikim, even when they're dead, they're really still alive. And it says that in the raising of the dead, they'll be the first to raise up. And there are a lot of stories. There's a lot of books that say also Mashiach is supposed to come from the dead. Elijah the prophet is going to announce the Mashiach. Elijah the prophet never died. He said it went up to heaven in his body. Who saw him? Somebody saw him. It says that once in a while he appears to people. There was Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Elijah the prophet used to appear to him whenever he wanted. This main revelation of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, this greatness of his inside of the Torah, the secrets of the Torah, the Iker Gila, the main revelation was on the day that he passed away. Because what was the revelation that he had? It's called the soul, Nishmata Daraita. It's called the soul of the Torah. Penimio Tasodot, the inner secrets, Shegile b'meshach kol yamei chayav. All the rest of his life, he revealed great secrets of the Torah. But the day that he passed away, as all of his pupils were there, that day that he passed away, right before he passed away, he revealed the deepest secrets of all. His pupils all wrote them down, they'll remember them. And also, by means of this writing these things in the book the Zohar, Harizen Nidkale was revealed afterwards to all the Jews. Ad Ofen until a way, the person the Yit Par Meson, that the Jewish people are, how do you say, nourished, B'havana v'hasaga, by understanding and grasping the ideas, Gilui Bechinat Niflo to the Torah, the wonders of the Torah. Chachma bina b'dat. Now just think for 1 second. I mean, the Torah was given by God to the Jewish people, right? We've repeated this how many times? It's the only religious book that any religion even claims was given directly by God to 3 million people. And they all saw it. And this is after he took them out of Egypt and he was provided them bread from heaven and split the sea and etc. And then God, we repeated this, but the Rambam Maimonides says that all the miracles that were done before the giving of the Torah could have been done by sorcery. Could have been done. Splitting the sea and the plagues from heaven and the firstborn, it could have been done. But that God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, everybody saw it. They all saw God speaking. And that's why the first of the 10 commandments, I am God that took you out of Egypt. Now let's see what God, the secret of secrets, the essence of God, what does he say to the Jewish people? Don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. Everybody knows that. I don't think there's a society in the world that doesn't say that you shouldn't kill, at least don't kill members of our own tribe, right? Don't kill, don't steal, right? The worst of the worst, like the communists that were going in Stalin's time and killing people. You couldn't kill a fellow communist just for no reason. Everybody knows you shouldn't kill. You couldn't steal. Okay, some of them are a little bit, strange. They keep the Sabbath day. Good, but still, it's not mystical. In fact, all the mitzvahs of the Torah, the whole entire Torah, is not very mystical at all. It doesn't really talk about spiritual things. It says loving God. You should love God with all of your heart. But it doesn't give any mystical ideas, the whole entire Torah. How could it be? So the answer is that there are every single word, every single letter is packed with secrets and mysteries and Kabbalah and secret ideas, right? That point to God. The point to God. Now listen, it's not foolproof, right? It's not foolproof. It's possible to learn the secrets of the Kabbalah and also become an egotist. There's the Kabbalah Center, and there was famous people that really, really misused the secrets of the Torah, right? The famous one was Shabbatai Tzvi. May his name be blotted out. That they misused the name. Okay, it's possible to misuse everything. Like Adam misused he was in heaven and he misused the tree of knowledge of good and bad. Okay, it's possible to misuse. That's what a human being is. But nevertheless, this gave the opportunity, at least the opportunity and the possibility to use it properly. To use the secrets of the Torah in a proper way, namely to connect you to God, to have more appreciation of God, to have more love of God, more awe of God, and the commandments especially. So therefore, that's what Rabbi Shimon did. He revealed the secrets of the Torah. He'd galut to mind. This is something like the revelation of the inside of the Torah, the secrets of the Torah, which is going to be in the future. If you look at this book, the Song of Songs, written by King Solomon, it's one of the books of the Torah, right? A regular, normal book of the Torah, like Psalms and etc. And it starts off with King Solomon says, "Yishkeni mishikas pio," that God will kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. And it says, what is it talking about? That the Torah was given from God's mouth, and the kisses of God's mouth, that's the secrets. And Rashi explains, one of the explanators, the commentators of the Torah, that the Mashiach will come and teach the deepest secrets of the Torah to all mankind. And this, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he gave us a little bit of a foretaste of this kiss, that God is going to kiss us, the inside of the Torah, the meaning of the Torah. But nosaf lazeh, in addition to the fact that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai also chibur pnimius Torah, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he wrote this book, the Zohar, and he wrote it together with the revealed Torah. Okay, this is another aspect. Let's just stop for 1 second here. There are other great Tanaim, the people that wrote the Mishnah. They started like near the end of the Second Temple, Hillel and Shammai and those. And these people, they had the power to raise the dead. It says even the Rebbe Yehuda Nasi, he was the last of the Tanaim. This is already after the temple was destroyed. It said that his pupils had the power to raise the dead. It tells a whole long story about how they did. And how did they do it? Because they knew the secrets, these secrets of the Torah. The secrets of the Torah. One of the parts of the secrets of the Torah is that God doesn't want us to raise the dead. Only, it was a special case that tells the whole thing. Nevertheless, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there were other people that also are mentioned in the Zohar. And generally speaking, there were Tanaim that they were experts in the secrets of the Torah, but they didn't write ideas in the revealed Torah. Or there were those that they wrote things about the revealed Torah, but they didn't write anything or explain anything about the secrets of the Torah. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the only one that he's mentioned many, many, many times in the Mishnah and other places. Rabbi Shimon, whenever it says Rabbi Shimon, it means Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he did both together. As Yesh Lomar, we can say that the Torah itself, Nigla the Torah, the revealed Torah, like all the laws, the Pnimius Torah, all the secrets. This is like the difference between the Aleph that we said, that Aleph means three things. Well, the most external of them is Leshen Ulpana and Limud. This is the learning and the external. That's not the most external. That's the most external aspect of the Torah. This is the learning and the teaching of the Torah. And the Aleph of the letters Pele. This is the Mochin Be'etzem. We said the essence of the Torah, the essence, wisdom of God. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he joined the two of them together, the external part of the Torah, which are the laws, and the inside of the Torah, which is the pure godliness of the Torah. Yesh Lomer, we can say, with this power, hu noten hakoach, he gave the power to reveal godliness, also the levels which are above the world, ulpano shalom, alufo shalom. We said that God is the king of the universe. That's the lowest level. Kamaimer, we said, Tanya, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Omar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, Kol makom shagali Yisrael, every place where the Jewish people were exiled, Shechina iman, the Shechina went with them. Galil Babel, the Jewish people went into Babylon. Galil Babel, Shechina iman, the Shechina, God's presence went with them into Babylon. Galil Edom, the Jewish people were scattered all over the world to Edom. That's what we're in now. It says the Shechina is with them. What does it mean? That God's presence goes with the Jews everywhere. Shagam biyotam babavel, even when the Jewish people are in exile, far, far away from Judaism. Right? Like we said in Russia, the Jewish people already 4 generations of non-religious Jews. Jews don't even know they're Jews. Nevertheless, they're Jews. Wherever they're Gola is they have the Shekhinahs with them. Who's the Aleph? That's the Aleph, the potential to reveal the Aleph and make Ge'ula, put the Aleph. The Alufa Shalom, the King of the universe, is with them. That's what happens when a Jew makes a blessing. He says, God, you're the King of the universe. Al-Derech says, similarly, this is what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai did in the whole world. Like it says, Yochel ani liftor et kol olam kulo min adin. He said that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was so totally harmonious and devoted to the God and the Torah, through the Torah, that he said that the whole world exists because of me. If there's any problems in the world, Jews are sinning, Jews are doing bad, and God is angry, well, I have the ability to pray and to negate all of the bad things in the world. We saw there was countless cases. I mean, you can just, there's books and books written about how the Lubavitcher Rebbe cured people that were incurable. I mean, it wasn't even a miracle. It was just like, business as usual. I know people that had big growths, God forbid, and the doctor said they weren't going to live, and all of a sudden it just went away, right? There was a person, a well-known person, that he was dead. They put him in the waiting room to die. They unhooked him, they unplugged him from all the things, and he was supposed to die. And the Rebbe said, you should put him into a cold, to cool him down, and that they gave us some sort of crazy advice, which they had no way of helping. And the person came alive, and now he has a big yeshiva in New York. I know where the person is. Incredible stories. There's thousands of stories like this. Al-Derech says, similarly, this is what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai did. He drove into the whole world. Like it says, Yochel, I can remove any sort of judgment from the world. I can take all of the severity from the world. He can remove all the helem, the hester. He can remove all the concealment and all of the hiding, the unconsciousness from the world, including the whole din, the whole, the severity, the punishment of exile. And how did Rabbi Shimon do it? He wrote this book, the Zohar. If I share this, we can also connect the fact with Lag BaOmer is the day of Hod Shebahod. Okay, let's have a 3-minute explanation what this is. We said before that the days of the counting of the Omer are 49. Why? Because we say man is created in the image of God, and that one of the meanings of this is that just as God expresses himself in 10, what's called sfirot, we see that from the Torah that sometimes God gets mad and sometimes God is pleased, and that God he's convinced by Moses, and the God's wisdom is the Torah. So God has all these 10 aspects of his personality, even though each aspect is also infinite. This is called the secret of faith. Well, man is created in God's image, so man also has these 10 spheres. Well, 3 of these spheres are intellect. It's called Chachma Bina Dat, and the 7 of them are emotions. And the emotions, that's where egotism and trouble begins. What a person feels, what he loves, how the world that makes us crazy, gives us lust, gives us fear, gives us anger, gives us that's Chachma, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, all. It says, well, the sphirot of God, these aspects of the sphirot of God, there's 7. And we said that each one of them is also composed of 7. That makes 7. That's the 49 days that we count. We try to link God's emotions with our emotions. Well, it comes down to the 33rd day of counting the Omer. That's in the aspect of Hod. Hod. And it says that Hod is still inside of the body. There's the Yesod is next week is Yesod. Yesod, that's already the place where the circumcision is. That's called outside of the body already. And Hod is inside of the body. So even Hod, the aspect of Hod, which is one of the 7 aspects of Hod, right? We said each one of them is subdivided into 7. So this is the lowest level, which is considered to be still in the body of God, so to speak, and also in the body of our personality. Yesod is already connecting to people outside of us. So this is hinting at the lower level of the inside of our personality. That's like the inside, that represents the secrets of the Torah. Ramez al inyan hod milashon hoda'ah. Hoda'ah sheba hoda'ah. What does it mean, hoda'ah sheba hoda'ah? It means not understanding, but surrendering, right? Surrendering. When you don't understand something, but you know that it's right, you have a feeling that it's true, so that's called hoda'ah. You surrender, right? Comes a wise man, Albert Einstein comes in the room and he says, this is the way things are. He said, but everybody here understands differently. But if he says it, it must be right. Does anybody understand it? Sure, I'll explain it to you. He writes a big formula on the blackboard, nobody understands. Okay, but we admit that he's right. We admit that he's right. Hodah sheba hodah means somebody comes in and so brilliant that even Albert Einstein will say, wow, this man, I don't understand him at all, but I have a feeling that he's right. And everybody in the crowd, they say, wow, we don't understand Albert Einstein. But if Albert Einstein says that he doesn't understand this person, then for sure he's right. That's called the people in the crowd. They're like surrendering of surrendering, right? It's like far, far away from understanding, but nevertheless, we'll live our lives according to this. This is the level of Pella. This is the level that's called wonders of the Torah, the third level of this Aleph. That's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He revealed the Torah itself is a big mystery, and he revealed the mystery of the mysteries. This is totally above understanding. This is what the Melech HaMashiach is going to reveal in the third stage. The first stage is going to reveal that there's a king. God is the king. The second one is going to reveal the Torah. And the third is going to reveal the deepest secrets of the Torah to everybody. God will kiss us with his mouth, like we said in the Song of Songs. By the way, who wrote the Song of Songs? King Solomon. When we say from this, Nimshach comes down the Aleph, a lower level, understanding. Lahosiv, Shahod, Shabahod is what's called the sof, the end of the main emotions, like I just explained to you, before we get to Yesod, which is outside of the body. So this means that a kol el kol midos, that really the level of Hod in an inner way includes in it all of the other aspects of God and also correspondingly the aspects of our personality. Ad Malchut Sheba Malchut, until it comes down to Malchut of Malchut. What was Malchut of Malchut? That's when the Torah was given. That's the external Torah. Rabbi Shimon was the internal Torah. So this adds on to the what we said before, Chacham and Gibor. What do we say? There was Osha and Mechubad. What do we say? Here we go. The four things that it says in this week's Torah portion. We said a Chacham, a Gibor, Ashir, who is rich and who is honored. We said that represents all those four things represent all the 10 the sphirot of godliness that are supposed to be revealed until the highest of the highest. So that is the idea of Lag BaOmer, that this joins up. Lag BaOmer reveals the Chacham and the Gibor, the highest of the levels. And Hod is the sphere of the Chamishis. Hod is also comes, it's number 5. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod. That's the 5th, right? And then afterwards comes Yesod and Malchut. Those are the 2 outside ones. This hints at what says the Chamishit LeParo. It says the number 5 goes to Paro. What is Paro? Paro, that's bad Paro, but Paro also is Mila and Priya. Priya means total revelation. That Priyo Vidgalim, that there is revealed and opened up all of the lights. That's Perua. Shen Lamaila, which is this whole above the whole order of Hishtalshlut. That's what Hod reaches to. That's why it's so important. The idea when we start off the day, religious Jews, we say Modeh Ani Lefanecha. Modeh Ani, that's Hod. Hod means total surrender. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is surrender of surrender. That's the level of Pella. We said the third level of the Aleph. And this becomes in a regular way the letter Aleph. Okay, so here, what are we talking about here? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he actually wrote a book, and the book you can buy it in the library. And the book is translated into English, and the book is called the Zohar. And in this book, when you read the book, you get a sense, and if you delve into it a little bit, you can really come to get a really good feeling of how amazing the Torah is, how amazing God is. And through the ideas of Chassidut that really explain this, as it comes out that it becomes practical, these ideas. It affects your prayer, it affects how you do the commandments, it affects how you deal with other people, it affects your day-to-day life. That suddenly you feel that everything is wonderful. Life becomes a wonderful mystery. From Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is drawn afterward the revelation of the inside of the Torah and all the generations until the Arizal. Arizal lived about 450 years ago. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria. It's called Arizal. That's what the Ari Zal. There's different opinions what these letters stand for. Omer Reb Yitzchak, some Adonenu Reb Yitzchak. But Arizal means he was the lion of blessed memory. That he really advertised the secrets of the Torah. He really opened up the Zohar in a way that nobody else did. There were a lot of Kabbalists before him, but he did it in a way that nobody else did. Then it became like a mitzvah to reveal the wisdom of the secrets of the Torah. And afterwards, in addition to the revelation of the Torah of Chassidut by the means of the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid, right, that they came like 100 years after the Baal Shem Tov. They founded the Torah, so Chassidut in general, and even more, by means of the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe, he was the pupil of the Magid. And that began Chabad. Chabad, that began the idea of really revealing the secrets of the Torah in day-to-day life. Rabbeinu Mitziyenu Mamali Makomo, and all of the Rebbes that came afterwards. As the Rebbe said many, many times, that the first Rebbe of Chabad, he was the Mashiach, and all of the Rebbes of Chabad after that, they were the Mashiach of their generation. Limud Panimius Torah, this the Rebbe said that all the leaders of Chabad are the Mashiach of the generations. He said this tens of times. So this is revealing the secrets of the Torah in a way that everybody can understand it. Hafatz the Ma'anot Chutza, spreading out the secrets of the Torah outside. In the outside of every person. And the powers of his soul, what he loves, what he thinks, what he wants, what he does, the power of action, the speech, deeds, and thought. Even his animal soul, right? His job, what he likes, what he enjoys, as a chutz shabolim, remember the most external things in the world. Gilei Panimis Torah, like I said, there were these stories about the professors, and the Rebbe even told, like we mentioned before, the Professor Green, it's a good thing, look for life on Mars. It's a good thing to see. So even look, putting Chassidut even in the life on Mars. The Rebbe said, why look for life on Mars? Because if there's found life on Mars, then it shows that the greatness of God, that he's not limited to just making people in the world or animals here. He can make interterrestrial miracles. Also, other Rebbes of Chabad, from generation to generation from the first Rebbe of Chabad until the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. Now, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, our Rebbe, said a lot of times that the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, he was really the last Rebbe, and that he himself, the Rebbe himself, he said, I'm just an extension of the last Rebbe. I'm just an extension. In the end, he spoke about himself as separately also. He said that there were 3 periods in the previous Rebbe's life, and one of those, the third period, on one period he said that was only the first of the 3 periods, was when the previous Rebbe passed away. That was the first period of the previous Rebbe's life. And the next period was after the Rebbe took over. So the Rebbe was just an extension of the until the Gilui Panimis Torah and the revelation of the inside of the Torah in our generation. And also for more and more every year to year, until now, Al Yidei Katev Yad, by means of the handwritten Maimorim, that were printed and that are being printed right now. And this Rebbe is saying that I am doing the job right now. Here it is. Oh. But often in such a way we said that we can draw out the wonders of the Torah in a way that we can understand them, and that it permeates all of the powers of our soul, understanding, emotions, action, speech, thought. Like the language of the Alter Rebbe said, according to Maskila Eitana Ezrachi, he said on this pasuk, on the sentence which is found in Psalms, Psalm 90, Psalm 89, Maskila Eitan Ezrachi. Eitan, that's the essence of the soul. Eitan means the ancient one, the powerful essence of the soul. This is the level of the Pella of the soul. Ezishlo Maskil Eitan. This comes down into the power of Maskil, into Ezrachi. It will shine, Mazriach, Lakol Lakochel, it will shine. Mazriach means to shine, Ezrach, Zoreach, to shine in all of the powers of a person's personality. This power of Koach HaMaskil, which is above all intellect, will be drawn down from above any consciousness into consciousness. And also the Shlemus of Zuricha, this shining that will be in the future, this is, we're saying the Rebbe, says the Rebbe, this is, we can find it right now. We're already beginning the days of the Mashiach. This is the Rebbe said in 1991. From this is drawn down the power that we can reveal godliness in every aspect of the world. Like it says, Baruch Hashem, Amen ve'amen. And after that, we can reach the Psalm, after Psalm 89, we get to Psalm 90. And this is Tefillah L'Moshe Ish Elokim. This was because this was the 90th year of the Rebbe. The Rebbe was 90 years old. Ad l'siyumo v'yehi noam Elokei Hashem Elokeinu, that there should be the pleasantness of God on us, the revelation of the noam, of the pleasantness of God in the world until our deeds will be established. Remember, we learned about this before, the third temple, and Miti in the third temple. Simply what it means by learning Torah in general, and especially by learning the inside secrets of the Torah as they were revealed in Torah Chasidut. This will reveal the oneness of God in the world. And especially this is, says one of the Rebbe, the ways of the Rebbe is by looking at the face of the Rebbe, at the shining face, the Chachmas Adam, Toyer Panav, is the wisdom of a person makes his face shine. Until this will also add on understanding. And like it says, Rebbe is like Rebbe said, Rebbe was a generation after Rebbe Akiva. That's Rabbeinu HaKodesh. And that's the one we talked about, that he was able to raise the dead. His pupils were, they said that about him that he could have been Mashiach. It says in the Gemara in Sanhedrin that he could have been Mashiach because he suffered and said. It says, Ha the Mahadrina Mechavri said, I was wiser than my friends, the Chazisi Rebbe Meir Ma'achore, because I saw Rebbe Meir from the back of his head. I saw the back of Rebbe Meir. The Ilu Chazisi Mekami, but if I would have seen Rebbe Meir from the front, then I would be even smarter. Like it says, Vayo Einecha Rosa Minecha, that your eyes will see your master. This will be made revelation of godliness in the world, including the revelation of the Creator in the creation in a way of actual seeing, Chachma, and even more revelation that not just the Chachma, the wisdom of God, but the essence of God will be revealed in the physical world. This is like what it was with Adam, but even higher. Adam, you could see godliness in everywhere until he ate from the tree. Suddenly everyone will see that it is only in the ability of God to create everything from nothing, and we'll see how it's happening. Efes amuchla, like it was before the world was created, there was no being. Okay, I think we can try to finish. Let's try to finish. Here we go. And after the then this will make a revelation in the world. That's what we said. Okay, so this will, how does this begin? What are we supposed to do? First of all, the service of every Jew. Like, let's explain what is this way of serving God? What does it mean, serving God? Like Moses said to Paro, let my nation go. God said, let my nation go so they can serve me. What does it mean to serve God? Means not just turning away from bad, refraining from doing things that we want to do, but God doesn't want us to do. Altia Russia, like it says in the Tanya, that's how the Tanya begins. Don't be bad. Don't be an egotist. Ella gam tiet tzaddik, but you should also do good. Even though not everybody merits to be a tzaddik. What does it mean tzaddik? Not just to do good, but to feel good. A tzaddik is a person that he feels God all the time. He feels God all the time. All of his egotism, all of his desires is just to do the right thing, right? If you've ever heard like a concert pianist play, right? Amazing. They can play. There's some of them they can sit and they can play for 2 hours just by memory. The most complicated pieces, amazing. And their fingers just move faster than you could possibly think, faster than they can think. They're just amazing harmony and beautiful in expression and etc. Because they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And that makes beauty in the world. Well, that's what a tzaddik is. A tzaddik is a person that does exactly what God wants him to do, what the Creator wants. There's no greater beauty than that. That's what it says in the Tanya. The Tanya says that every Jew, before he comes into the world, is given an oath that he's going to be a tzaddik, that he's going to be this perfectly in tune with what God wants. Just, okay, God put us in the world and he put us in an animal soul and he put us into this, so we get all confused and all egotistical and selfish and things like this. That's what happened mainly when Adam ate from the tree. So not everybody nowadays, especially, merits to be this level of a tzaddik. The ein adam mishpat bechira, and a person doesn't really have the choice to do this. We don't really have the abilities to overcome and transform ourselves. So much. Because we're found in a body and in an animal soul and in this physical world. But by means of this, we do have the power from the essence of the ha'atzmos, the gufa gashmi, in the physical body. We do have the power. God helps us. Like we said, this gives a person the power that even when he's in this physical world, nevertheless, he can reach the highest levels. He can fulfill what it says in the beginning of the Tanya, be a tzaddik, be totally in tune with God. Or at least by means of this, he can try what he can in order to fulfill his vow that he made to be a tzaddik. And even more, if a person if he accustoms himself and habituates himself to act like a tzaddik, as it could be that from above, God will actually give him a blessing and he will actually be a tzaddik, right? He will be a tzaddik. That's what it says in the 13th chapter of the Tanya. Let's see down here, 149, 13 to the 14th chapter of the Tanya. Here it is. Oh, doesn't bring it up. Anyway, 13th chapter of the Tanya, right at the end, 13th or the 14th, I didn't remember. Good. So then, and especially because the Jewish people have been serving God for all these generations. So now certainly every Jew can reach to the highest level, and even to the level of being a tzaddik. Every single one can reach this level of completion, until by means of this, spreading out the ideas of Chassidut will be the power to reveal godliness in the world until the farthest ways of places. We see that in Russia, now there's places where Jews, they didn't even know they're Jews. People tell me, there's Jews now in Russia, 70 years old, they want to make a bris milah, a circumcision. They didn't know they were Jews just until now. All this makes a revelation of revealing God in a complete redemption, that the world will only be to know God alone. The whole world. That's what the Rambam says in the end. The revelation of the inside of the Torah, that your eyes will see your Creator. Let's just do this last one. Here we go. Hurrah, the teaching. The teaching from this simply is that the Jewish people have to do in order to speed up this. Because every single second that God is not revealed in the world, we see what's going on in the world, right? Everybody wants to kill everybody else. They're just showing up how everybody's flexing their muscles, showing, listen, we have a missile that can blow up your city. We have a missile that can blow up your whole town, your whole country. We have a missile that can blow up your whole continent, right? We have spies and we have secrets and we have the diseases, and we're going to spread them around. We're going to kill everybody. You better be afraid of us. The whole world is just going berserk. There's no value for life anymore. There's no value for the family. There's no value for common sense anymore. Things are just going completely crazy, right? Well, and not only that, it's in the whole entire world we can see. So now it's just an obvious thing that we need to see the Creator in the creation. Benos of Lapulas, not only that, and to see that every human being, regardless what they do, is a creation of God, and God loves everybody. If they don't do the right thing, that's their business, but God's business is He's creating them and He loves them. When this is revealed in the world, then suddenly everybody will calm down. And certainly in 1 second, it's going to be revealed. Ad bakal olam, until the whole world. I mean, let's just think about this practically, right? Let's just say they have all of a sudden one day the king of whatever it is of the leader of China, and what's it called, Ho Chang or whatever, and of Russia and the whole free world, and the Pope and all these people. They say, listen, we've made a big mistake. Right? All the leaders of all the religions, they all get together on television, right, or CNN. They say, listen, we made a mistake. There's a creator of the universe. Our religions are wrong. Our desires to destroy the world are wrong. Our making of these big missiles are wrong. Right? We're trusting the creator of the universe. We don't want to make war. All we want to do is know how to benefit the people. That's all we want to know. No more war, no more creation. We just want to have family and children and happiness and nachas from our children, from our accomplishments. In 1 second, it could be, the whole world would just change around. The whole world will just totally change around. We're releasing all the money, the billions of dollars they have in the Vatican, who knows, trillions of dollars. We're releasing it to benefit the whole world. Right? We're going to join. That ideal was supposed to be what the United Nations was supposed to be. Instead of making, condemnations of Israel all day, that's what they're working at. But it could happen in 1 second, because the fact of the matter is all these things are false. And it would really benefit everyone if they just stopped it. But Nosaf, in addition to this, what it says in the world, that the whole world will reveal how God is the king of the world, in the world, and every single detail of the world, and especially by means of that we use everything in the world for the sake of heaven and in order to know the Creator. Let's say they took off of the internet anything which was, how do you say, discouraging to make a family and children. right? All these promiscuous things, and the main thing is just have a good time, and it doesn't make any difference who you do it with or what you do it with. Have a good time. That's anti-family. That's anti-family. It's telling everybody, right? What if it would take away all the violence and the terrible, right? Killing people, and you killed them before you kill you. That's anti-life. Just take those things off of the internet, off of this. Imagine the world would be a wonderful, you have to give something in place. What do you give? Appreciation, appreciating life, appreciating nature, appreciating your abilities, appreciating mathematics, science, the music, appreciating the creator of mathematics and science and music. Has to be Hosafa. There has to be a special in learning Torah, and especially the inside of the Torah as it's revealed in Chassidut, in a way that you can understand, and also to inspire others by means of spreading out the ideas of Torah and spreading out. May it be God's will that by means of our work now, in the end of this exile, and the revelation of the Aleph into the Gola, that this will bring immediately the true redemption. Immediately, that all of the Jewish people will go out of the exile, that all the Jewish people are found now. And they'll be, and all the Jewish people as they are right now, in their garments, with their money, with their everything that they have, doesn't make any difference. Even if it's dirty garments, they have terrible thoughts and deeds and actions, because the future redemption will come without any sort of, how do you say, delay. In one instant. And after this future redemption, then we'll say, right, that God revealed all of the dirty garments from us. And like we said before, Odecha ki anaftabi. Well, thank you, God, on all the trouble that you gave us. We realize now what the deep secret was, because all the Jewish people are tzaddikim. B'kol ben Yisrael, all the Jewish people, our children, our elders, our sons, our daughters, will all go together with everything they have, kaspim, zav, and yitam, their silver and their gold will be with them. How much more so all the Beit Knesset, all the Beit Midrashis, the Rebbe once said they'll all fly to heaven. And all the Sefer Torah, including the Sefer Torah that we finished this week from the women of Israel. They got up money to write a Sefer Torah. and sit with the great joy of the Torah, we'll see the secrets of the Torah in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem, in the holy city, in the holy mountain, the Beit HaMikdash HaShlishi, Mikdash Hashem Konan Yodecha. Be the revelation of God in the physical world by means of us. That ends today's class. In honor of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in honor of the future redemption that should be in one instant. Oh, we have some questions. Shalom. I have to go out now. Great. Okay. Wonderful. Shalom. Uvracha. Have a good day with Mashiach now. The Yom Yom. Let's do the Yom Yom. Here we go. I know it's been a long class today, but let's do it. Here we go. Hayom Yom. Okay, some read the Shema in the morning before the services because Chabad sometimes they daven a little bit late. So you should say Shema Yisrael and repeat the words Shema Yisrael, the Hashem Elokeichem, Ani Hashem Elokeichem in the end, and finish with the word Emet. When you say tefillin with Shema with Rabbeinu Tam, you don't repeat them, but you do say the word Emet. Okay, Lag BaOmer in 1844, the Tzemach Tzedek said, teachings of the Baal Shem Tov, because you, the Jewish people, should be a land of desire. Just as the greatest scientists will never discover the limits of the enormous natural resources that are in the earth, neither will anyone ever find the limits of the great treasures which are in each and every Jew. The Baal Shem Tov finished and said, I want to make the Jewish people yield the kind of produce which God wants them to, which every Jew is capable of revealing. Have a good day with Mashiach now. Thank you very much. Shalom uvracha.